Babylon's Fall, the new AAA games-as-a-service game developed by PlatinumGames and published by Square Enix, has been an absolute disaster, and I need to talk about it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media. Today, I wanted to talk about PlatinumGames, the state of that company, Square Enix, their recent decisions, as well as Babylon's Fall, kind of the center of all of this. So, if you have not been following this, and I know I'm a Nintendo channel, but I have to talk about this. If you have not been following this game, this has been one of the most disastrous launches for a game ever. And it's not even disastrous in like the, oh wow, it's getting a lot of bad press way. I think of Battlefield 2042 and even Call of Duty Vanguard from last year, more so Battlefield. And think about how botched that game launch was, where everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about that game because it was that bad. Babylon's Fall, no one's talking about it because simply no one cares, and that is absolutely astounding to me. So the thing that made me really get sparked and want to talk about this is if you go on Steam charts, which I believe is a pretty accurate representation of Steam's player base, the all-time peak for Babylon's Fall, which released on, I believe, March 3rd, and then it was like an early access, like digital deluxe edition on like February 28th or something like that. So it's been out for like 2 weeks. The all-time peak for this game has been 1,100 players on Steam. Now, this game released on Steam, PS4, and PS5. What about those PS5 numbers? You would think, oh, maybe PS4, PS5 fared a little better. Now, this isn't as accurate as Steam charts, so I went on PSN Profiles, which is basically you register your trophies there, your data there, and it tracks your trophies for you. So this isn't all players. It's just users who have registered on PSN Profiles. But typically speaking, if you're a trophy hunter or you play more niche games like this, if you like PlatinumGames, if you know the name Platinum, you're probably on PSN Profiles. So PS4, there are 73 owners for this game, and on PS5 it's 247. Once again, obviously there's more than that sold, but not much. Based on the numbers we have, I would assume this game has probably sold a decent amount less than, well, for less than Square Enix expected, and two, less than 5,000 copies, I think is a safe bet, which is absolutely insane. It is insane that this AAA game that I'm sure they sunk tens of millions of dollars into is just out, no one's talking about it, and it's just dead. So what happened here? So I want to tackle this from two sides. I want to start with Platinum, and then we'll get to Square Enix. Platinum is not as good of a developer as everyone thinks they are. They have had so many misses, and yes, they have had some really big hits to kind of make up for that, but whenever they release a hit, people seem to forget that, oh, they made this trash game. So I'm going to pull up a list of their recent games and talk about them, because it seems like they have a hit, two misses, a hit, two misses. It's like a pattern. I don't know what is going on with this developer. I don't know. I'm sure they have different teams in Platinum. I'm sure there was a team working on Babylon's Fall while they're making Bayonetta 3 and Project GG or whatever the hell else they're doing. Wonderful 101 Remastered, right? But let's go over their games. Of course, little brief history, though. If you don't know, Platinum was founded by Shinji Mikami and Hideki Kamiya, as well as a few others, I believe. They basically all disbanded from Capcom and then made this. So Platinum is kind of like Capcom 2 in a way. A lot of the old heads of Capcom work at PlatinumGames. Of course, Mikami is now at Tango with Bethesda and now Microsoft. But yeah, so they were founded in like 2008, 2007, something like that. Their first game was Mad World. I've heard good things about Mad World. Infinite Space, never heard of it. I don't know. It's a DS game. Who cares? Bayonetta. People love Bayonetta. Vanquish, people like Vanquish, I believe, is generally the consensus. Anarchy Reigns, once again, I haven't heard too many people talk about it, but I would assume not as hot. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, another pretty good game. I played that one myself. I like that game. Wonderful 101, I think this game gets a lot more love than it deserves. I think a lot of people liked it simply because it was a Wii U game. So there was a Wii U game to play. I played it. It's fine. I don't think it's as good as people say it is. Bayonetta 2. I have not played Bayonetta, but Bayonetta 2 is, I think, widely considered their best game, if not their second best game, because of course, the one that came out in 2017, which we'll get to. Then they got into this weird deal with Activision where they started doing licensed games, and I don't understand this. They made a Legend of Korra game. Bad. Transformers Devastation, I actually did hear decent things about, but still, why are you doing licensed work? You made Bayonetta. Why? Then you had, I remember that. They did 8-bit Bayonetta on browser. I remember that. That was cool. Then they did Star Fox Zero with Nintendo. And Star Fox Guard as well. Now, I don't know if this is more on the Nintendo side of things that went wrong here. I don't know if Miyamoto was taking the reins and just kind of, didn't know what he was doing. Big possibility. But once again, Platinum was the brunt force of that development team. How do you make a bad Star Fox game, bro? I'm not a developer. Maybe it's harder than it seems, but I feel like, I don't know. It's Star Fox. And it's not they even made a new game. They just remade 64, basically. So how'd they mess that up? I don't know. And then Star Fox Guard is whatever. Then they made a TMNT game, once again with Activision. I've heard nothing but bad things about that game. And then they made Nier Automata, which is widely considered their best game. That was when they started working with Square Enix. Which is why when Babylon's Fall, which we'll get to, was announced in 2019 or 2017, it was announced right after Nier Automata came out. It made sense. It was like, oh, Square Enix is working more with Platinum. Then in 2019, we had Astral Chain. That's my favorite game they've made. Very good game. One of my favorite Switch games. If you haven't played Astral Chain, please go do it. Then they did Wonderful 101 Remastered, which they kickstarted, which was this weird thing. Then they have the World of Demons game on iOS, as well as Soul Cresta. Well, Soul Cresta is actually on console. It's a weird shmup. They're doing like their own publishing stuff now. And then you have Babylon's Fall. So it's this weird mix of... Here's the thing. They either release like a 10, or like a 9 or a 10, or they release a 4. You know? I don't get it. There's no in between with them. They don't make a 6. They don't make a 7. They don't even really make an 8. They make a 9 or a 3. You know? What is going on with that team? And now I want to talk about the Square Enix side of things because I think they are just as guilty in all of this. PlatinumGames doesn't make fucking live games as a service games in the first place. I'm not saying that excuses Platinum for making a bad game by any means, but why did they greenlight PlatinumGames to make a live games as a service game? It makes no sense. They can barely even keep their head straight when they're making a single player game. We don't know what the hell happened to Bayonetta 3, but something clearly happened. It looks good. It's coming out this year, evidently. We'll see. I don't personally believe that, really. But sure, Bayonetta 3. Something went wrong there. It was announced almost 5 years ago. Something went wrong. So really, yeah, why is Square Enix just greenlighting games with no real, like, sense of like consequence almost? They've been pumping out these like lower budget games, which I'm fine with. We got the announcement of the Dio Field Chronicle. That looks okay, as well as a new Valkyrie game. Sure, why not? But then you have stuff like the Avengers, which once again, why the hell did they put Crystal Dynamics on a games as a service game? I know everybody wants a piece of that pie. Bruh. No. They should have... Listen, Babylon's Fall was announced in 2017 with a CGI trailer, so I'm sure it had just started development. They could have canceled Babylon's Fall, and no one would have been the wiser, dude. Avengers came out in 2020. They had 2 years to react. They had 2 years. They knew people didn't want this, and they still released it. I know that's more sunk costs, but honestly, this is doing more ill will towards Platinum and Square Enix that it would have been worth it. And then once again, going back to Platinum, we have them doing this weird shit where they're like, hey, Microsoft, Scalebound. I didn't even mention Scalebound. Yeah. They were partnering with Microsoft to make this amazing looking dragon game, and then Microsoft canceled it because obviously something went wrong there. But yeah, they were like tweeting publicly or like talking in interviews. I think it was Kamiya. He was saying, yeah, we would love to be acquired. This was a few weeks ago. I think they know the writing's on the wall. I think they know Babylon's Fall is going to hurt them very much. And I worry because, like I mentioned, Astral Chain, Nier Automata, Bayonetta, I mean, these are well-beloved games. And I worry so much for this developer. I don't see a way they survive. Maybe not necessarily because of Babylon's Fall, but just in general. They're trying to do their own publishing stuff, which I don't really personally see working out for them. I haven't seen many people talk about World of Demons or Soul Cresta. And then they announced that Project GG game, which we know nothing about, which I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that game never comes out now. They're probably going to have to go back to licensed games. Here's the thing, like, at least from my personal take, and I know I'm a Nintendo YouTuber, so whatever, take it with a grain of salt. They definitely do their best work when working with Nintendo, with the exception of Star Fox Zero, of course. But Astral Chain and Bayonetta 2 are great games, right? Or at least well regarded. And then of course Nier Automata with Square Enix. So I guess I just don't know. I just don't understand this developer. I believe they were working on that Grand Blue Fantasy game as well, and then they got taken off of it. So now Cygames is doing it, and they're just a mess. They're trying to do too much. It kind of reminds me of Telltale. They're trying to do too much at once, and they just need to scale back. Platinum, does not need a release. I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now. In 2022, they have Soul Cresta, Babylon's Fall, and Bayonetta 3. Why? Why does Platinum Games need to release 3 games in a year? Soul Cresta, that's fine. That's a smaller team, I'm sure, making a shmup for the Switch and PS4. But Babylon's Fall and Bayonetta 3? No, just make Bayonetta 3. You don't need to make Babylon's Fall. These are well esteemed. These are the creators of Beautiful Joe, Okami, the iconic PlayStation 2 Capcom franchises. Why are they making new games as a service IP for Square Enix? Bro, I think it's time. Personally, here's what I think. I think they should, the main people, Kamiya, I think the Bayonetta guy already left. I forget, Hashimoto, was that his name? The main people that are still leader, and like the main leadership there, bro, just go back to Capcom. Just go back, make Okami again, make Beautiful Joe, whatever you want to do. Capcom's on fire right now. Go help them out, because clearly something isn't working here. But yeah, I just needed to address everything going on with Platinum Games and this absolutely botched launch for Babylon's Fall, and as well as Square Enix's involvement. I think it is very interesting, and I'm very curious to see where this goes. All the best to Platinum Games. I hope no one gets fired or laid off or whatever. I never wish that for any developer, no matter how botched the game release is. I'm just very curious to see where everything goes. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you did enjoy this video, please share it around, subscribe, like it, all that fun stuff. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.